Hey there. Tonight, we're going diving not with tanks or gear, but with imagination. You're floating above an endless blue mirror that stretches farther than your eyes can measure. The air smells faintly of salt and sunlight, and the horizon folds into itself like a quiet secret. Somewhere below, millions of stories are being written at once in liquid ink. You just have to drift closer to read them. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. It helps others find their way here too, one sleepy soul at a time. Let the air slide in, slow and deep. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You dangle your feet into the ocean, and the surface greets you like silk, cool, curious, alive. Beneath that thin veil of light, another world waits. You sink slowly, watching sunlight fracture into ribbons that sway with every gentle wave. It feels endless, as if the planet itself has inhaled, and you're floating inside its chest. The ocean covers more than 70% of Earth's surface, yet most of it remains unexplored. That's right, humanity has mapped Mars better than its own seabed. You can picture a satellite taking selfies on a red desert millions of miles away, while down here in your own backyard, an octopus invents new colors no one's ever seen. Scientists still argue whether we truly know even 5% of what lives in these waters. It's humbling and a little hilarious to realize that while we obsess over alien life, most of it is waving at us from a few miles beneath our feet. The light around you thickens. You can almost hear the photons whisper as they scatter through suspended particles, painting everything in blue and green. Every flicker is a physics lesson, shorter wavelengths surviving longer journeys through water, while reds and oranges fade first. That's why every underwater photo looks like it forgot how to blush. You reach your hand forward, and your skin turns ghostly. Congratulations, you've officially joined the cast of Finding Nemo but existential. Fish flit past you like brushstrokes. Some are bold enough to stare back, their eyes reflecting your curiosity. Others vanish into coral shadows before you can blink. Their movements are effortless, perfect choreography without rehearsal. Down here, gravity's more of a polite suggestion than a rule. You drift weightless, suspended in slow motion, like the planet finally decided to hit pause. A curious clownfish peeks from its anemone home. Those tentacles might look soft, but they're venomous to almost everything except this little orange daredevil. It's immune protected by a thin layer of mucus that fools the anemone into thinking, nope, not dinner. Nature is basically a cosmic prankster. Somewhere Darwin is watching with popcorn. The deeper you go, the quieter it becomes. Not silence exactly, more like a hush, as if the ocean's holding its breath. Your heartbeat slows to match the rhythm of the swells. You feel tiny yet infinite part of something vast and ancient. The truth is, every drop of water here has been somewhere else, cycled through clouds, rivers, and tears. The ocean doesn't just hold life. It is life's memory. A school of sardines glimmers in the distance, each fish reflecting light off its silver flank, a shifting mirror ball made of thousands of hearts. They move as one, dodging predators with hypnotic precision. No leader, no argument, just pure instinct. Scientists still argue whether such swarms have a kind of collective mind, or if it's just math and motion beautifully aligned. Maybe the line between intelligence and instinct is blurrier underwater. Far above, you can barely see the rippling ceiling of the sea. It looks fragile now, like stretched glass. Every wave you once watched from shore now moves as light patterns over your head. You remember standing on the sand, squinting at the horizon, never realizing how much world was hidden beneath. It's funny how often the biggest mysteries live just beyond our comfort zone. One breath deeper, one step further, one curiosity stronger. You drift past a jellyfish translucent and slow pulsing like a living heartbeat. Its tentacles trail behind in a lazy ballet. It's older than dinosaurs, older than flowers, older than most of the planet's land creatures. Yet it looks like it was designed yesterday by an alien artist obsessed with minimalism. Jellyfish don't have brains, yet they navigate, hunt, and even sleep. Scientists still debate how something without a nervous system can dream. But hey, humans barely understand their own dreams, so maybe the jellyfish are just ahead of us. Tiny bubbles slide past your skin, each one reflecting the whole ocean in miniature. You could spend forever here, weightless, slow, serene. The sound of your breathing mixes with the ocean's hum, a duet of air and water. And if you listen closely, you can almost hear what the waves are saying. Calm down, slow down, let go. Somewhere in the distance, a whale calls, a long, low note that trembles through your ribs. It's haunting and beautiful, like the earth itself is singing lullabies to whoever will listen. You pause, close your eyes, and let that sound wrap around you. This is no longer exploration, it's communion. So you keep descending through shades of blue that grow darker, deeper, older. The surface fades behind you, replaced by a realm that feels more dream than reality. The ocean has accepted your invitation. Welcome to its heart. You keep sinking through the twilight layers where sunlight begins to fail. It's like watching a sunset in slow motion, except this one never ends. It just fades into blue that deepens with every meter. Down here, photons are precious travelers. They scatter, bend, and vanish until only faint ghosts of color remain. The ocean is swallowing the day whole, one wavelength at a time. At about 200 meters, you enter what scientists call the mesopelagic zone, or more poetically, the twilight zone. It's neither fully bright nor completely dark, a permanent dusk where everything glows a little and hides a lot. Fish here have evolved oversized eyes, built like night vision goggles trying to catch every leftover photon. If your eyes could adapt that well, you'd be able to read a book by starlight, or at least stop bumping into furniture at 3 a.m. You notice your own reflection vanish. The reds from your skin have gone first. Next, the yellows, until only shades of teal and gray remain. The ocean filters light the way. Time filters memory, softening edges, blurring details, leaving only calm. You move through this dreamlike haze and realize the ocean isn't dark, not yet. It's contemplative. Tiny flashes flicker in the distance like underwater fireflies. Bioluminescent creatures begin their nightly ballet. They blink in patterns, each pulse a silent Morse code of attraction, warning or camouflage. One fish blinks blue to flirt, another glows red to threaten. It's nature's version of nightclub lighting, only the cover charge is surviving the food chain. Scientists still argue whether bioluminescence evolved primarily for communication or deception. Maybe both. Some squid use light to mimic the faint shimmer of moonlight filtering from above, hiding from predators that lurk below. They literally mask their shadow. That's next-level stealth. Even James Bond would be jealous. A faint shiver travels through your body. It's not fear, it's awe. You realize how alien this world is, yet it's right here on the same planet. The creatures you meet down here aren't weird. They're just more experienced at surviving where humans can't. You drift past a transparent comb jelly, its rows of cilia beating in rainbow ripples. The colors aren't pigment, and they're light refracted by movement, a living prism. It looks like a floating chandelier designed by a daydreaming physicist. Fun fact, comb jellies aren't even true jellyfish. They belong to their own branch of life entirely, one older than dinosaurs, and possibly older than the first fish. Some scientists suggest they may be the earliest multicellular animals on Earth. So yes, that delicate blob could be your distant glowy cousin. The deeper you go, the quieter the water grows, until even your thoughts seem to echo. Yet the silence isn't empty, it's rich. Sonar pings bounce from unseen shapes, and whales hundreds of miles away can still hear one another. Sound travels about 4 times faster underwater than in air, and it doesn't fade as easily. The ocean, for all its quiet reputation, is actually the world's largest conversation. You're just eavesdropping on a chat that began before humanity existed. Now look up. The surface is barely visible, a faint silver halo far above. You can still make out the last traces of daylight trembling on the waves. That shimmer, scientists call it the Snell's window, a perfect 96-degree cone of refracted light that makes the world above look like a glowing circle. Beyond that, there's only darkness and pressure waiting to introduce themselves. You pass a vertical migration in progress, billions of tiny plankton swimming upward to feed near the surface under cover of darkness. It's the largest synchronized movement of life on Earth, and it happens every single night. Imagine the entire human population deciding to jog to Canada and back before sundries just for snacks. Plankton are that dedicated. Among them drifts a lanternfish, small but luminous, carrying its own row of glowing dots like Christmas lights. These fish form the foundation of many marine food webs. And yet most people have never seen one alive. If you could scoop up a handful of seawater here, it would sparkle with living light little chemical lanterns powered by luciferin, the same molecule that lets fireflies flash. You can't help but think this place doesn't need stars. It makes its own. Far below, the blue begins to thicken into a deep ink. The temperature drops. The water presses against your ears with a soft insistence. You realize why divers describe this feeling as the squeeze. Every 10 meters down adds another atmosphere of pressure. Your lungs would collapse here without protection. But don't worry, this is imagination, not a physics test. You're fine. Probably. Still, you feel it, the weight of the ocean, the patience of it. It's been sculpting this planet for 4 billion years. The continents we stand on are temporary guests. The ocean is the permanent host. Every mountain will crumble into it. Eventually, every drop of rain will return to it. And somehow, that's comforting. As your eyes adjust, the last faint rays of light flicker out. The ocean exhales into complete darkness, and you, tiny, weightless alive, continue drifting downward toward a place where the sun has never been. You've left light behind now, truly behind. The darkness here is complete, ancient, and oddly soothing. It's the kind of dark that feels like velvet pressed against your skin. Above the faintest blue halo marks where the world of sunlight used to be. Down here, it's all shadow shimmer and the quiet persistence of things that refuse to die. You've reached the bathypelagic zone, the midnight zone. Temperatures hover near freezing, and the pressure would flatten a submarine if it dared linger unprepared. Yet life not only endures here, it thrives. The ocean apparently missed the memo about comfort zones. Your first encounter a whale. Not just any whale, but a sperm whale, the heavyweight philosopher of the sea. It's descending on its daily commute to the deep, hunting giant squid that lurk even farther below. You watch its massive silhouette glide past, slow and deliberate, a mountain of muscle and myth. Each dive can last over an hour, plunging to depths greater than the height of the Empire State Building. Its heart beats once every 10 seconds. One deep thud, another, and you feel your own chest echo back in rhythm. Then movement. A flash, something enormous stirs below. You can't see it clearly, just hints, long arms, eyes like dinner plates, and skin that shifts colors faster than a traffic light, having a nervous breakdown. The giant squid that slippery legend sailors once mistook for sea monsters is real and very much awake. Its tentacles stretch longer than a city bus, each one lined with suction cups rimmed with tiny teeth. It's both terrifying and oddly graceful, as if nightmares could waltz. Scientists still argue whether giant squid and their colossal cousins, the aptly named colossal squid, ever cross paths with whales in true battles. Evidence is scarce, though sucker marks on whales' skin suggest that at least one of them never skips arm day. What's certain is that these creatures are not myths. They're just camera shy. You drift closer and catch the faint glimmer of the squid's eye. A perfect orb reflecting the dim light of your world. It's said to be the largest eye of any animal, nearly the size of a basketball. Why so big to detect the faintest silhouette of danger, like a whale creeping up from the darkness below? Out here, evolution rewards paranoia. A strange vibration hums through the water. It's the whale again, releasing a rapid series of clicks, sonar pulses used to navigate and hunt. Each click is powerful enough to vibrate through your chest like subwoofer bass. The whale can visualize the squid's shape through sound alone, a biological echolocation system that puts human technology to shame. You imagine what it must see, not color or detail, but rhythm, motion, texture, like feeling the shape of a ghost. You watch as the whale dives deeper, a silent juggernaut vanishing into blackness. The pressure here would crush your body to pulp, but for the whale, it's home. Its lungs collapse safely, its blood stores oxygen like a living battery, and its ribs flex instead of breaking. Nature designed it not for comfort, but for mastery. And as the giant squid retreats, one of its glowing organs flickers, a faint blue pulse, rhythmic, almost heartbeat-like. Some researchers believe these flashes help communicate across vast distances. Others think they're just accidental luminescence from chemical reactions. Either way, the effect is mesmerizing, like Morse code written in liquid light. You drift further and meet another giant, this one unseen, but heard. A blue whale, perhaps. The largest creature ever to exist, even larger than the biggest dinosaur yet. It survives almost entirely on krill, smaller than your fingernail. You can't help but grin. The ocean has a wicked sense of irony. When a blue whale sings, its voice can travel hundreds of miles. It's a sound so low you feel it more than you hear it. The water trembles. Your ribs resonate like tuning forks. Scientists still argue about the purpose of these songs. Are they navigation guides, love letters, or social media posts in whale language? No one's sure, but the melodies are haunting enough to make you feel like the universe itself is humming lullabies through them. You pass over a strange shimmer, a marine snowstorm. Tiny particles of dead plankton, organic dust, and fecal matter gently rain from above. This is the ocean's recycling program, feeding the deep world with leftovers from the light zone. It's oddly poetic. Up there, something dies. Down here, something lives. Every flake that drifts past your face is both an ending and a beginning. A massive shadow passes again, a whale turning, rising its fluke, slicing the dark like a curtain. Bubbles shimmer up in slow spirals as it exhales and ascends. You can almost sense its satisfaction, the slow pulse of a creature that doesn't need to rush because it has all of eternity's patience. The scale of everything here humbles you. You're smaller than a raindrop in a thunderstorm, yet somehow you belong. Your heart, your breath, even your silence, all of it aligns with this vast heartbeat around you. In the stillness, a playful thought sneaks in. If whales had TikTok, would their songs go viral? Probably. They've been singing long before humans figured out fire, and they'll keep singing long after our Wi-Fi signals fade into space. You drift sideways deeper into the world of giants, feeling the dark cradle you like a promise. There's no fear left, only wonder. The ocean's depth doesn't feel like emptiness anymore. It feels like memory, slow, patient, eternal. Somewhere below, another whale sings back. The duet echoes across the void, and you float between them, caught in their invisible conversation. A melody written in pressure and time. The dark around you softens into a faint haze. Something new is glowing below. At first, it looks like a trick of your eyes. Then you realize you're approaching a living city. Thousands of tiny creatures, each no bigger than a pinhead, have joined forces to build something monumental. Welcome to the kingdom of coral, proof that teamwork can turn skeletons into art. From a distance, coral reefs look like gardens sculpted by dreams. Up close, they're fortresses made by animals. Every coral polyp is a tiny architect secreting limestone to build walls that will outlast them. Together, millions form massive structures, reefs so large they're visible from space. The Great Barrier Reef in Australia, for example, stretches over 1,400 miles. It's not just big, it's the largest living thing on Earth. If the planet had a heartbeat, you'd feel it pulsing here. You move closer and see the colors. They shimmer like powdered gems, violet, emerald, rose, gold. The coral itself is pale, but it glows because of microscopic algae called zooxanthellae living inside its tissues. They share food and energy with their coral hosts in exchange for shelter. It's one of nature's oldest partnerships, a kind of underwater roommate agreement where neither forgets to pay rent. Fish dart between the branches of staghorn coral like confetti in slow motion. A parrotfish chews on coral, grinding rock into sand. Yes, some of the world's beaches are literally made of fish poop. You might think twice before building sandcastles now, but hey, the ocean recycles everything. You watch a sea turtle drift by, ancient and unbothered. It's the old sage of the reef, coasting through centuries, while civilizations rise and fall above the waves. Its shell carries stories older than human language. For a moment, you envy its peace, moving with the current, never against it. Nearby, a clownfish wiggles through an anemone forest, continuing its comedy act from earlier. It's fiercely territorial, tiny, loud, and confident, basically the ocean's version of a chihuahua. You can't help but grin. Even in this vast cathedral of water, personalities shine through. Then you notice something stranger, coral that looks ghostly white. It's bleaching a stress response when water becomes too warm or polluted, causing corals to expel their algae partners. It's like losing both color and life at once. Scientists still argue how much time reefs have left before irreversible collapse. But many also fight to restore them, planting coral fragments, reducing pollution, and hoping nature forgives our clumsy attempts to help. Still, life refuses to give up easily. You spot baby corals barely the size of a fingernail, clinging to rocks glowing faintly. Each one is a new beginning. That's the ocean's secret, quiet persistence. While humans panic, it rebuilds. Slowly, silently. Microscopic plankton drift past your face, glowing faintly blue when disturbed. They're the base of the entire ocean's food web, the original solar panels of the sea. They photosynthesize during the day and perform chemical miracles at night. Every breath you take owes them thanks, because half the oxygen in your lungs right now came from plankton. No forest can claim that. You realize you've been living on borrowed bubbles from these invisible heroes all along. One particular plankton, Prochlorococcus, is so tiny that billions fit in a teaspoon of water. Yet together, they shape the global climate. Scientists joke that if these cells ever unionized, they'd control Earth. But don't worry, they're too busy floating. A curious, cleaner shrimp hops along your arm, fearless. It's inspecting you like a doctor doing rounds looking for parasites to snack on. You resist the urge to giggle at tickles. This tiny janitor plays a critical role keeping fish healthy by grooming them. It's hard to imagine, but this symphony of cooperation, shrimp, fish, coral, algae, is what keeps the ocean breathing. A group of butterfly fish passes by their fins, fluttering like silk ribbons. They travel in pairs, lifelong partners, gliding side by side. You can't help but think the reef is full of love stories written in salt water and sunlight. Farther off, an octopus watches you with quiet intelligence. It changes color in a blink, melting into the coral. These creatures are escape artists, problem solvers, even pranksters. Some scientists have documented octopuses throwing shells or the occasional coconut at researchers. That's not aggression, that's shade, literal shade. You imagine what the world would look like if humans cooperated half as well as a coral reef. No shouting, no traffic, just symbiosis, give and take balance and rhythm. The thought lingers as you drift above a glowing ridge, where coral branches stretch toward the dim light, like hands reaching for hope. Tiny snails, starfish, crabs all play their part. Every crevice hides something alive, breathing, contributing. The reef hums with invisible energy, and you can almost feel it vibrating through your bones. If you could zoom out, you'd see that reefs are the lungs and nurseries of the sea. They cover less than 1% of the ocean floor, but support about a quarter of all marine species. Without them, the ocean would be quieter, emptier, lonelier. And yet, despite the fragility the reef endures, it's been through ice ages, volcanic winters, and meteor strikes. Maybe it'll survive us too. The coral glows one last time as you swim upward. A school of fish parts around you in a perfect spiral, and the reef fades below like a glowing memory. Ahead, the water begins to pulse with movement, a rhythm not of color this time, but of gravity itself. The tides are waiting. The rhythm you feel now isn't just motion, it's gravity dancing to the moon's tune. Every ripple you float through is part of a larger breath, one the entire planet takes together. These are the tides, Earth's oldest heartbeat. You drift upward slightly as the sea begins to rise, pulled by a silent force you can't see but can definitely feel. It's strange to think that this slow, massive pulse is controlled by something so far away. The moon, humble in its silver stillness, is basically yanking an ocean around like a cosmic puppeteer. Its gravity tugs at Earth's water, stretching the ocean into bulges, one facing the moon, one opposite. As Earth spins beneath you, pass through those bulges and voil high tide. 6 hours later, when you've rotated out of alignment, the sea quietly exhales into low tide. You're literally surfing space-time. Scientists still argue over small nuances, how exactly local geography amplifies or cancels tides, why some coasts get 2 highs and 2 lows, while others only get 1. The truth is, even with satellites and math predicting the ocean's mood, still requires a hint of humility. It's like trying to schedule a cat. You imagine the first humans noticing this rhythm thousands of years ago. The rising and falling sea wasn't just water moving. It was a clock before clocks, a calendar before calendars. Whole civilizations built their rituals around it. Fishermen in ancient Mesopotamia, Polynesian navigators, Celtic druids, they all measured time by this gentle, endless pulse. As you float, you feel that pull yourself. It's not just metaphorical. Every molecule in your body is slightly drawn toward the moon right now. Your blood tides are rising too. You grin at the thought. Technically, you're 0.001% werewolf. A gentle current nudges you forward, and the seafloor begins to change. You're entering a world sculpted by motion in the intertidal zone where land and sea argue over custody. Twice a day, this place drowns and resurrects. One moment it's a shoreline, the next it's an underwater metropolis. You hover as waves recede, revealing a hidden universe. Barnacles clinging to rocks like stubborn renters, starfish creeping over mussel beds, crabs racing sideways like caffeinated janitors. Everything here lives on the edge, literally. Too far up and they dry out. Too far down and they drown. Somehow, every creature finds its sweet spot. A hermit crab catches your eye, dragging its borrowed shell like a second-hand apartment. It pauses, inspects a slightly larger one, and without hesitation, moves in. Instant real estate upgrade. Somewhere a human mortgage broker cries. Above, gulls circle lazily, waiting for the next wave to uncover breakfast. You notice how perfectly timed their dives are. They've memorized the tide schedule down to the minute, living proof. That instinct beats Google Calendar. The tide begins to rise again, creeping up your legs with a chill that feels almost alive. You can sense the planets spinning beneath you, the moon pulling the sun, subtly joining the dance. When the two align, new moon or full moon, the tides grow stronger, called spring tides. When they misalign, you get neap tides, quieter, gentler. The ocean breathes shallowly then. A curious detail: without the moon-Earth's rotation would spin faster, days would shorten, and ocean life as we know it would unravel. Tides mix nutrients, oxygenate the shallows, and sculpt coastlines. Without them, coral reefs would starve, and beaches would vanish. Basically, no moon, no seaside vacations. Tragic. The pull of the moon also stirs deep currents, massive underwater rivers called tidal streams that move more water in a day than all Earth's rivers combined. Submarine pilots once feared them. Now engineers dream of harnessing them for clean energy. Imagine a power grid fueled by moonlight, tugging at seawater. A literal nightlight for civilization. You think of the moon up there, still glowing silently, unaware of the chaos it causes. Or maybe it knows. Maybe it enjoys the attention. After all, for a dead rock, it's been making waves for billions of years. Below you, the ocean floor stirs. Sand ripples shift like scales sculpted by the rhythm above. A flounder hides beneath camouflaged perfectly, just a pair of eyes poking from the sand. It waits for small prey to swim too close, a patient hunter synced to the tide. You let the current carry you along a coastal shelf where kelp forests sway in slow unison. They stretch high as trees, their fronds undulating with the pull of the moon. Somewhere in those tangles, otters wrap themselves like sleepy burritos, anchoring with strands of kelp so they won't drift away while napping. Honestly, that's genius. You could use that trick for your next nap. At high tide, waves crash above the kelp canopy, scattering foam that glows faintly in the starlight. Some of that shimmer isn't just reflection, it's bioluminescence, plankton lighting up in protest when disturbed. Each crashing wave becomes a flashbulb, each footprint on the sand, a glowing memory. You could write a love letter here just by walking. And then, as you float and the tide begins to fall again, you realize something oddly comforting. This endless rise and fall is a reminder that everything in nature oscillates. Light and dark, high and low noise, and quiet life and death. The ocean doesn't resist it. It just flows. You close your eyes and let that rhythm sync with your heartbeat. The pull of the moon, the hum of the current, the whisper of foam, it's all one pulse. And tonight, you're part of it. You drift deeper again, letting the surface tides fade behind as a slow, invisible river begins to carry you. It doesn't roar or crash, it glides. You're now riding one of Earth's most powerful forces, the ocean currents. Imagine highways with no lanes, no borders, and no traffic laws, only motion eternal and deliberate. The Gulf Stream begins to embrace you like a warm blanket pulled across the Atlantic. Born in the Caribbean, it snakes northward past Florida, curves east toward Europe, and delivers tropical heat to places that should be frozen solid. Without it, London would feel more like Labrador. It's the reason Europe has gentle winters instead of endless ice ages. You're basically drifting inside Earth's central heating system. The water hums with energy. Tiny bubbles hiss past your ears like static electricity. Beneath the surface, plankton ride along fish, follow the current highways, and sea turtles use them as natural GPS routes. Scientists still argue how much of this global system known as the thermohaline circulation depends on salinity versus temperature. Thermo for heat, haline for salt. Two simple ingredients choreographing a planet-wide ballet. You watch it unfold in slow motion. Warm water rises, cool water sinks, saltier. Water grows heavier, fresher water, lighter. It's a planetary breath, inhaling and exhaling on a timescale of centuries. Each loop of this conveyor belt can take 1,000 years to complete. Somewhere, a drop of water that touched a Viking ship might still be circling the globe, whispering Norse curses into the deep. Currents shape everything, the weather, the climate, even where ships travel. The Pacific's Kuroshio Current, often called the Black Stream, mirrors the Gulf Stream on the opposite side of the world, wrapping warmth around Japan. Meanwhile, the cold California Current slides down the U.S. West Coast, chilling its waters and fueling the fog that hugs San Francisco like a sleepy ghost every morning. You picture the planet as one vast organism, and these currents are its bloodstream transporting nutrients, oxygen, and memories. When a current slows or shifts, everything feels its storms, fisheries, even coral reefs thousands of miles away. The ocean is connected in ways our cities will never be. A swirl forms beside you, a gyre, a vast spiral of water rotating lazily under the influence of Earth's spin. In the center of some gyre's debris collects bottles, nets, plastic bits smaller than rice. They gather silently, a testament to humanity's carelessness. You pass through one, watching the glittering fragments drift like tiny planets. It's heartbreakingly beautiful and quietly horrifying. Scientists still debate whether cleaning these floating fields is even possible. Some say technology can scoop them out. Others argue prevention is the only cure. For now, the ocean just keeps turning patient but scarred like an old artist repainting over graffiti. You rise slightly, feeling a change in temperature. The water warms, softens. You're approaching the meeting point of two currents, a convergence zone where the warm and cold shake hands awkwardly. These boundaries are alive with energy and life. Nutrients stirred from below feed blooms of plankton, which feed fish, which feed everything else. A school of tuna darts past sleek metallic fast enough to make a Formula One driver jealous. They ride these current edges like highways of abundance. Somewhere deeper, sharks patrol, following the scent trails that drift in the water. It's a food chain on the move, powered by invisible motion. Above you, sunlight flickers briefly, reminding you how far you've traveled. A drifting Portuguese man-o-war sails past, a delicate balloon with long, venomous tentacles. It isn't one creature, but a colony of many, each specialized, one for stinging, one for feeding, one for floating. It's teamwork again, ocean style, basically a corporate structure, except effective. The current curves, bending you eastward. You're moving faster now, several miles per hour. That doesn't sound like much until you realize it's an entire ocean sliding by you. Somewhere nearby, a drifting log hosts a whole ecosystem, barnacles, crabs, even a few baby fish, using it as a makeshift apartment complex. You can't help but smile at the thought that a single piece of wood might travel from Africa to the Americas and back again, ferrying generations of tiny stowaways. Everything in the ocean is moving, restless, alive, and intertwined. You dive deeper into the current's core, where the water feels like silk pulled taut. Here the sound changes, less splash, more hum. The vibrations are constant, low, hypnotic. It feels like listening to the Earth's circulatory system. Currents also carry memory heat from one century, carbon from another, even radioactive traces from nuclear tests decades ago. Every drop is a historian, swirling its secrets endlessly. Scientists can take a sample of seawater and tell where it's been, how old it is, and what it's witnessed. It's like reading the autobiography of the planet written in molecules. You drift through an eddy, a miniature whirlpool peeling off the main flow. Inside you find calm, amid motion, a spinning pocket of stillness. Tiny jellyfish hover here, glowing, faintly swirling with the flow, like dancers trapped in a lazy waltz. You realize the ocean is full of such paradoxes, chaos and calm, destruction and creation, all happening simultaneously. A playful dolphin appears out of nowhere, riding the bow wave of an invisible ship. It leaps through the current, twisting, chirping, inviting you to share the joy of movement itself. You laugh softly, it's contagious. And as the dolphin vanishes into the blue, you're left alone again, floating inside a force older than mountains. The current whispers through your hair, tugging gently, urging you onward. You let go. No resistance, no effort, just surrender to motion. You think about how humans fight currents every day. Literal ones, emotional ones, political ones. But maybe the trick isn't to fight at all. Maybe like the dolphin, you just have to ride it. You exhale slowly, bubbles rising like silver coins. The current catches them, spinning each one upward until they disappear into the light. The ocean is moving on, and so are you. The current begins to fade, and with it comes an eerie stillness. The hum of movement quiets into a background, throb steady, ancient patient. Now you realize something strange. The deeper the ocean grows, the louder sound becomes. Down here, light is useless, but sound is king. You're entering the sonic realm of the deep sea, where communication isn't about seeing. It's about feeling vibrations ripple through darkness. You don't just hear the ocean, you sense it. Every pulse and echo travels through your bones like a lullaby written by tectonic plates. A faint rhythm trembles through the water, the songs of whales. You can't see them, but you can feel them. Blue whales, the largest creatures to ever live, sing notes so low that human ears barely register them. Their calls can travel more than 500 miles, sometimes circling entire ocean basins. Each note is drawn out, heavy and impossibly calm, like time itself, stretching between heartbeats. Scientists still argue why whales sing. Is it for love, for navigation, or just because they can? Some suggest the songs change with geography forming dialects like human languages. Others think whales improvise new melodies, every generation evolving a form of underwater jazz. You smile, picturing a humpback whale with sunglasses vibing mid-ocean, dropping deep bass tracks before migrating north. A sudden crack echoes, a sharp, distant thunderclap. You turn toward it instinctively. It's not danger, just conversation. That's the call of a snapping shrimp, one of the loudest animals relative to its size. This tiny creature can close its claws so fast it creates a cavitation bubble that bursts with a sonic pop over 200 decibels, louder than a gunshot. The burst even produces a flash of light for a millisecond called sonoluminescence. The ocean doesn't need fireworks. It makes its own. Nearby, a pod of dolphins click and whistle. Their communication is rapid fire, like underwater Morse code. They use sonar to map the world in sound. Every click they release bounces off objects and returns as a 3D image in their minds. You can almost envy that ability, seeing without sight, feeling shapes with your ears. Some researchers believe dolphins can identify each other by signature whistles, essentially names. Imagine swimming up to a friend and whistling their ringtone. It's both adorable and deeply efficient. You hear a deeper hum now, rhythmic and strange, the grinding of an iceberg far away, scraping the seabed as it drifts. Even that sound, faint and mournful, adds to the orchestra. The deep ocean is never silent. It's an unending concert where every participant plays both instrument and audience. Submariners call it the SOFAR Channel, a natural sound highway, about a kilometer deep, where temperature and pressure combine to let noises travel huge distances. Whales use it like an intercontinental phone line. Even human sonar pings bounce through it, sometimes returning signals hours later. If space has the cosmic microwave background, Earth has this, the hum of the sea. Suddenly, you notice something different, a metallic rhythm, human-made. Propellers far above, a ship. Its low thrum disturbs the natural harmony, scattering nearby fish. You realize that the ocean song has been getting noisier every year. Engines, sonar, drilling, all cluttering the ancient silence. Some scientists warn that this acoustic pollution may confuse whales, strand dolphins, even alter migration routes. The ocean once whispered, now it must shout. You pause floating, still letting natural sounds reclaim your attention. The creak of shifting pressure, the rustle of sand, the quiet crackle of distant shrimp colonies, all small, all peaceful. Even silence here has texture. Then comes a sound so faint, you almost think you imagined it, a deep, haunting moan scientists once called the bloop. When it was first recorded in the 1990s, conspiracy theorists immediately declared it proof of sea monsters the size of cities. Decades later, researchers traced it to ice quakes, massive icebergs cracking in Antarctica. Still, part of you wishes it had been a monster. The world could use a few mysteries that stay unsolved. You drift toward the source of another vibration, a patch of seabed trembling with subtle pulses. It's not mechanical. It's biological. You found a chorus of fish. Many species produce sounds by grinding their teeth, drumming their swim bladders, or rubbing body parts together. Yes, the ocean invented dubstep first. These fish choruses rise and fall with the moon, forming invisible symphonies timed to tides and mating cycles. Even coral reefs hum faintly. Tiny crustaceans snap, algae fizz, and fish chatter, a constant static that sounds almost like frying bacon. Scientists sometimes play recordings of healthy reef noise over dying ones to lure life back. The sound of home is a universal invitation. You realize something. If you could translate all this, it might read like poetry. The whales sing bass, the shrimp handle percussion. Dolphins add trills, fish hum, the harmony, and humans. Well, humans occasionally drop microphones and listen, pretending they're not late to the concert. You close your eyes. In the darkness, the sounds become pictures. You can see the contours of the sea floor through vibration alone. A whale passes far below its call, painting a moving silhouette in your mind. Then silence again. Not empty, but full. Like the pause between breaths. It's comforting to know that even in total darkness, life keeps talking. The ocean doesn't need sight to stay alive. It just listens. And tonight, so do you. The sound fades into a hush again as you glide deeper, and the water grows heavy with unseen movement. It's not quiet because nothing's happening. It's quiet because everything is. Every microscopic engine, every chemical pulse, every flicker of plankton is working at once to keep this blue planet breathing. You're now among the living machines, the creatures and microbes that power the ocean's hidden metabolism. Down here, sunlight barely touches anything, yet life finds a way to turn darkness into balance. It's a world of invisible labor, no applause, no headlines, just tireless chemistry keeping you alive. Tiny specks shimmer around you like dust motes caught in a sunbeam. Except this is no dust, it's plankton, billions of them. You might not notice them on a beach postcard, but they're the foundation of everything that swims, crawls, or breathes in the sea. Phytoplankton and those microscopic plants of the ocean float in the upper layers, capturing sunlight and exhaling oxygen. If you're breathing easily right now, you owe about half of that to them. They're the unsung lungs of Earth. Each cell is a solar panel converting light and carbon dioxide into food through photosynthesis. Together, they remove billions of tons of carbon from the atmosphere every year. Scientists still debate which ocean regions contribute the most, but one thing's clear: if phytoplankton ever took a day off, humanity would have maybe 6 months of breathable air left. No pressure, little guys. Drifting near them are zooplankton, tiny animal drifters that graze on their green cousins. They rise at night and sink by day, performing the planet's largest vertical commute. This migration happens daily, silently and invisibly. an entire biosphere moving up and down the water column, like the tide of life itself. One of them bumps gently against your hand, a copepod no bigger than a grain of rice. Yet it flaps its antennae with the confidence of a whale. It's a critical player in the marine food web, feeding fish larvae, whales, and even corals. The copepod doesn't know it, but it's running the ocean supply chain. A translucent salp drifts by, basically a living jelly cylinder pulsing gently. It eats plankton, forms long chains, and poops carbon pellets that sink to the bottom, locking away greenhouse gases for centuries. Environmentalists call this the biological carbon pump, nature's own climate control. The ocean doesn't just absorb carbon, it buries it in slow-motion vaults. You watch as a shimmering cloud passes, a bloom of krill, tiny shrimp-like creatures that might outnumber all land animals combined. They're food for whales, penguins, and seals, forming what some scientists call the Silver River of Antarctica. It's mesmerizing, this mass of life flickering in perfect unison. You reach out, and they part around you like living glitter. Every pulse in this dark water is connected. Jellyfish bloom in slow cycles, sometimes exploding in number when oceans warm, sometimes vanishing for decades. These ghostly drifters are 95% water, yet they control entire ecosystems by deciding who gets eaten and who doesn't. You can't help but admire the irony, a creature with no brain influencing global food chains. Scientists still argue how jellyfish navigate, how they sense seasons or currents without organs or thoughts. Some believe they're guided purely by chemistry, like living equations reacting perfectly to their surroundings. It's both eerie and elegant, a life form so simple it's flawless. The deeper you go, the stranger it gets. You pass through what looks like falling snow. It's marine snow, the drifting remains of plankton and organic matter. This constant drizzle feeds the deep sea, linking the sunlit surface to the abyss below. Every flake is a tiny capsule of energy falling for weeks before reaching the bottom. Somewhere below, worms and sea cucumbers are already waiting for dinner. In the distance, faint lights flicker, colonies of bioluminescent bacteria living symbiotically with larger creatures. Some fish carry these microbes in special organs, using them as headlights or camouflage. The bacteria get a warm home, the fish get stealth lighting. It's evolution's version of a smart home device. You drift past a squid no longer giant, but small and deliberate. Its body glows softly with blue-green light. Those glowing dots along its belly are counter-illumination, a trick to match the brightness of the faint light above, so predators below can't spot its shadow. It's camouflage through mimicry, a living mirror of moonlight. You can't help but chuckle. Fashion and survival really are the same thing down here. Somewhere in this living darkness, something exhales. A slow release of bubbles spirals up from unseen vents. It's the breath of the seafloor, a mix of gases rising from hydrothermal activity. The microbes feeding on those gases, called chemosynthetic bacteria, don't need sunlight at all. They build entire ecosystems by converting chemicals like hydrogen sulfide into food. Plants need light. These creatures need only chemistry. And it hits you, the ocean doesn't just host life, it invents it over and over again. From sunlight to sulfur, from photosynthesis to chemosynthesis, life keeps finding loopholes in the laws of physics. It's relentless, brilliant, a little chaotic, basically nature's hacker culture. A faint shimmer passes again, a swarm of dinoflagellates glowing with every movement. You wave your hand and watch trails of blue fire dance through the water. Each spark is a signal, a defense mechanism, maybe even joy. The ocean, even in its quietest depths, still finds ways to celebrate. You hover, still surrounded by invisible workers, tirelessly maintaining a planet you'll never fully understand. They don't care who notices. They just do what they've done for billions of years, turning sunlight, salt, and patience into life. It's humbling, really. The ocean doesn't need applause or even witnesses. It just keeps breathing, and for tonight, you breathe with it. The light vanishes again as you drift even deeper into a world where sunlight has never existed. Here, the water is dense enough to feel like slow glass pressing against your body with invisible fingers. This is the abyssal and hadal zone, the deepest, coldest, strangest neighborhood on Earth. You can almost hear the pressure groaning against itself. Down here, it's more than 1,000 times the atmospheric pressure at sea level. Every square inch of your body would carry the weight of an elephant. It's the kind of force that could crush a submarine, but the creatures that live here don't just survive it. They've turned it into home decor. A flicker of movement catches your eye, a fang-toothed fish no bigger than your hand, but with teeth so large they can't fit inside its mouth. It glides through the dark like a floating nightmare. Ironically, despite its terrifying grin, it's actually quite shy. Most abyssal predators they move slowly, carefully conserving every calorie. Down here, food arrives like a rare miracle drifting down as that same marine snow you saw earlier. You remember those plankton above busy producing oxygen and sunlight's leftovers. Their remains are the currency of the deep. The ocean is a vertical economy, sunlight up top, patience down here. The deep sea creatures are scavengers of eternity. Ahead, something pulses in the dark, a strange glow, steady blue, then gone. You drift closer and find it an anglerfish, the celebrity of deep sea horror. Its lantern swings from a thin stalk on its head, glowing with bacteria that live symbiotically inside. It's a trap, of course. Small prey see the light, swim closer, and curtain call. But here's the weirdest part: that lantern isn't just a lure. Some researchers believe female anglerfish use their bioluminescent organs for communication love notes written in code. Considering their lifestyle, romance isn't easy. The males are tiny, often 1/10 the size of females, and when they find a partner, they fuse to her body permanently. They lose their eyes, their guts, even their independence. Just a pair of gonads contributing sperm whenever needed. It's devotion in the most bizarre biological sense. You exhale softly, love really does take all forms. Farther down the seafloor appears a landscape of silt and quiet chaos. It's not barren like you'd imagine. It's alive with subtle movement. A sea cucumber inches forward, vacuuming the sediment for nutrients, leaving neat trails like calligraphy. A giant amphipod hops awkwardly nearby, all translucent shell and oversized limbs. And there, hovering gracefully, a Dumbo octopus, its ear-like fins flapping gently as it glides. It's pale, gelatinous, and utterly serene, moving as if gravity were optional. It looks like something out of a child's dream rather than a scientific paper. It doesn't dart or flee. It drifts with quiet confidence, a creature that knows no predator dares waste energy chasing it down here. The deeper you go, the weirder things get. A tripod fish stands motionless on 3 extended fins, as if posing for a painting no one will ever see. Its eyes are useless, so it uses pressure-sensitive organs to feel its surroundings. It waits patiently, letting food literally fall into its mouth. Efficiency at its finest. A few meters away, shimmering red ribbons move through the black. They're bristle worms, writhing tubes covered in tiny glowing hairs. Each hair reflects light, giving them a ghostly halo. Some scientists still argue whether these worms communicate with those flashes or just use them to spook predators. Either way, it's mesmerizing, a slow-motion fireworks show for an audience of none. Everywhere you look, life has rewritten the rules. Jellyfish made of glass fish with transparent skulls, shrimp that glow infrared, so only their kind can see each other. In this darkness, evolution has turned creativity into survival. And yet the temperature here is just a few degrees above freezing. You feel it in your imagination. Your breath slows your body weightless, your thoughts suspended. Even your heartbeat seems to echo differently, slower, matching the ocean's own tempo. The seafloor drops again, a trench. The Mariana Trench, the deepest crack in Earth's crust, plunging nearly 11 kilometers. You hover at its rim, staring into the endless black. You think of all the explorers who've tried to reach the bottom, a few submarines, fewer humans. Only a handful have seen it firsthand like astronauts, but in reverse. Down there, pressure crushes steel, yet life still flickers. In 2019, scientists discovered amphipods and microbial mats thriving even in the trench's Hadal depths. Some of them carried traces of microplastics in their bodies, proof that human fingerprints reach even the planet's most unreachable places. It's both incredible and heartbreaking. You drift along the slope, passing white crabs scuttling over thermal seeps, where methane bubbles from cracks in the crust. The crab's shells shimmer faintly, dusted with bacteria they farm for food. Imagine that, under crushing darkness, life still finds a way to start a garden. A small fish swims past, a Hadal snailfish, the deepest living vertebrate ever found. Its body is translucent, its bones soft, its skin like silk. It doesn't need to be strong. It just needs to exist. And that's exactly what it does, unbothered by physics. Scientists still debate how these creatures manage pressure that would turn most cells into paste. Some suspect a special molecule called TMAO, the same chemical that makes old fish smell, protects their proteins from collapsing. It's poetic in a weird way. The scent of decay turns out to be the essence of endurance. You float quietly now, watching these fragile things move through eternal night. No light, no sound, no hurry. Just life, slow and certain. You realize this place isn't the ocean's graveyard. It's its cathedral. The silence isn't empty. It's sacred. A single bubble escapes from the trench floor, rising toward a surface it will never see again. You follow it with your eyes, and for a moment you imagine what it must be like. To rise endlessly through darkness, chasing light that never comes. Then you smile. Maybe that's what hope is, something small, fragile, and foolish enough to rise anyway. The darkness softens once more, and you begin to see faint outlines, metallic ribs, half buried in the sand coral vines, curling through open portholes. You've stumbled into a graveyard of human ambition. These are shipwrecks, and each one tells a story that never quite made it home. A steel hull looms ahead, massive and silent. It's tilted slightly to one side, its once polished nameplate now worn smooth by salt and time. Schools of fish weave through its windows, like tourists through forgotten temples. What once carried cargo now carries life. The ocean wastes nothing. You glide through a corridor once filled with air, now echoing with bubbles and silence. Chairs are draped in coral lace. Rusted beams are softened by algae. You brush past a curtain of seaweed that flows like tattered silk, and suddenly it feels less like death, more like reincarnation. The sea doesn't mourn what it takes, it repurposes. The Titanic might be the most famous ghost of them all, resting 2.5 miles deep in the North Atlantic. When it sank in 1912, it became an unintentional museum preserved by darkness. Over a century later, scientists found that bacteria are slowly eating the iron hull, creating icicle-like structures called rusticles. The ship is literally dissolving into the sea it once conquered. And you can't help but think maybe that's fair. A crab scuttles across a rusted steering wheel. Small anemones bloom where navigation dials once spun. It's a haunting thought, technology devoured by nature, returning to the cycle it tried to master. You smile faintly. The ocean always wins, but it wins quietly. Nearby lies another wreck, smaller wooden. Its hull has split open, and inside, you see a new reef forming. Sponges, barnacles, even a tiny moray eel peer from crevices. Human tragedy has become marine real estate. Some divers call these accidental sanctuaries. And that feels right, death turned into shelter. You hover near the bow, staring at a brass bell still faintly recognizable. You can almost imagine it ringing once more, muffled by water. The ship may be silent, but the reef sings softly around it, the creak of coral growth, the whisper of sand shifting through the decks, the hum of fish passing by. Scientists study these wrecks like time capsules. They're windows into climate change, metal corrosion, and even evolution. Some bacteria discovered on these wrecks have adapted to feed exclusively on iron rust eaters born from catastrophe. Others have learned to glow faintly, painting the wrecks in an eerie phosphorescence that would make any ghost jealous. As you drift deeper inside, your flashlight beam dances across a wall of barnacles shaped like constellations. You realize you could map the stars by them if you had to. The irony isn't lost on you. Sailors once used constellations to navigate, and now their ships wear new ones made of living stone. Something glides by, slow, massive, curious. A grouper easily the size of a car peers from a hatch mouth slightly open in a perpetual frown. It's been here longer than any diver, probably older than the wreck itself. When it exhales, a small cloud of silt drifts upward like breath from a ghost. The light fades again as you swim out, and you notice a wreck half covered in sand. Only the mast still sticks up like a finger pointing toward the surface. A rope of coral wraps around it, a reminder that the sea doesn't erase history. It just writes new stories over old ink. Not all wrecks are tragedies. Some were placed here deliberately, artificial reefs sunk by marine biologists to attract life. Old military ships, subway cars, even decommissioned airplanes rest quietly beneath the waves, now reborn as foundations for coral sponges and fish nurseries. It's one of those rare moments where human destruction accidentally turns into creation. You pass a modern wreck, its metal still sharp, its electronics barely corroded. A few plastic crates float half open, a relic of some lost cargo. One contains hundreds of small rubber ducks. You laugh quietly, imagining 1,000 yellow faces bobbing through the abyss. Somewhere, even the ocean has a sense of humor. Everywhere, small creatures thrive. Tube worms cling to rivets. Glassfish fill the cabins in silvery clouds. A manta ray glides overhead like a shadow of peace crossing a battlefield. The light from its belly flickers faintly, reflecting off the shattered glass below. You realize something profound. In the ocean, nothing truly ends. The steel returns to minerals, the wood to dust, the life to new beginnings. The sea doesn't bury it, recycles. Every tragedy becomes tomorrow's nursery. As you drift away, the wreck dissolves into shadow behind you. You look back one last time. The coral glows faintly, the hull shimmers under bioluminescent dust, and you imagine the ship dreaming. Maybe in its sleep, it still believes it's sailing through stars, this time not waves. You exhale. The bubbles rise toward the surface, carrying history in each glint of light. The ocean's memory never fades, it just changes form. You float onward, leaving the graveyards of human ambition behind. The darkness flickers again, not from the surface light this time, but from within the sea itself. The water glows in rhythmic bursts of turquoise, emerald, and ghostly blue, like galaxies twinkling under pressure. Welcome to the ocean's electric skin, a realm where creatures carry lanterns inside their own bodies. It starts subtly. Tiny plankton swirl around you, each one flashing for an instant as you disturb the water. You wave your hand and the darkness blooms into blue fire. It's bioluminescence, the light of life itself, produced not by heat like a bulb, but by chemistry. Oxygen meets Lucifer in a molecule that glows when excited, which frankly, same. Mix in a little enzyme magic and voil instant star show. This glow isn't just pretty, it's survival strategy at its most dramatic. Some creatures light up to lure prey, others to scare it off, and a few just do it because they can. One shrimp, or the sea firefly, shoots jets of glowing mucus when threatened. It's like an underwater smoke bomb, except fabulous. A jellyfish drifts past, pulsing lazily. Its body is crystal clear, except for a crown of shimmering lights running along its edge. Every pulse sends a ripple of color cascading down its bell. It looks like a living aurora, proof that art isn't limited to galleries. Scientists still argue whether bioluminescence evolved once and spread, or if it's the ocean's favorite party trick, reinvented dozens of times. Either way, the deep sea is basically Las Vegas without the noise complaints. You spot a lanternfish, its belly lined with glowing dots. These photophores act like runway lights, matching the faint shimmer of moonlight from above, so it disappears into the background. The ocean's oldest camouflage light to hide from light. Evolution meet irony. Then comes a stranger shape, a dragonfish long and thin with a jaw full of glassy teeth. Its body glows red instead of blue. That's rare because red light doesn't travel far underwater. It vanishes after just a few meters, which means dragonfish can see their prey with a secret flashlight that no one else can detect. Imagine sneaking around with night vision goggles while everyone else stumbles in the dark. Nature's built-in espionage. Another flash, quick, deliberate. You turn and see a cookie-cutter shark, small but terrifying. It uses bioluminescence to mask its underside, pretending to be a harmless fish from below. Then, when something big swims by, it lunges and bites out a perfect circle of flesh, leaving a crater. You can almost picture it grinning as it disappears again. The ocean's most efficient vandal. Farther off, a swarm of ostracods drifts together, flashing in synchronized bursts, a marine light show worthy of Times Square. They use their glow to confuse predators and attract mates. Somewhere in that chaos, love is literally in the air, or at least the brine. You notice that the glow isn't random, it pulses almost like a heartbeat. You realize you're surrounded by patterns, rhythms, messages. The ocean is talking in Morse code, and we just don't know the language yet. Even the sand on the seafloor sparkles faintly when disturbed. Tiny glowing bacteria coat the grains, illuminating your every step. It's like walking on starlight, except you're thousands of feet below it. In the distance, a silhouette moves, massive, silent. A sperm whale again, perhaps. When it exhales through its blowhole on the way up, the bubbles shimmer with trapped plankton light, forming glowing rings that drift apart like ghostly halos. You wonder if the whale knows how beautiful it looks, or if beauty is just something we project onto everything we can't understand. The glow here isn't limited to animals. Some bacteria colonize fish scales, shark teeth, even the undersides of sea ice. The Arctic and Antarctic oceans are alive with this faint luminescence winter lights for a world without dawn. Sailors once called it the sea that glows, and they weren't wrong. Before electric bulbs, entire ships at night would trail rivers of light behind them, a ghostly wake that followed for miles. There's even a legend among ancient mariners that glowing seas meant good luck, that the spirits of drowned sailors were guiding them home. You smile at the thought. Science says it's just plankton reacting to motion. But maybe the truth, as always, is somewhere between chemistry and poetry. You drift through a glowing cloud, now your body haloed in soft light. Every movement sends sparks dancing from your fingertips. For a moment you look down and can see your reflection in the blackness, the only light for miles moving because you exist. If you listen closely, you can almost hear the ocean whisper, you are not separate from this glow. You are part of it. And maybe it's right. And maybe in some microscopic way, your heartbeat joins the rhythm of all these glowing cells. Energy is energy, whether it's born from fire or from salt. The glow fades, gradually absorbed by distance. The darkness returns, not as emptiness, but as calm. You exhale slowly, your last trail of bubbles flashing blue before vanishing. The light lingers behind your eyelids, tracing dreams you haven't had yet. The last flickers of blue fade into darkness again, and the water around you grows still dense and ancient. Down here, everything feels elemental. You're surrounded by one of the simplest things in the universe, and yet it shapes nearly everything you know. Salt. It's easy to forget that salt is the reason the ocean tastes like forever. Each grain has a story older than continents, a tiny crystal built from atoms that once drifted in stars. Sodium and chloride, simple ions, eternal partners, dissolving and reforming endlessly. Together, they make the sea both home and barrier, both life and limitation. You scoop a handful of water, imaginary but heavy with meaning, and think this brine has been here for billions of years. Every drop you touch has cycled through clouds, rivers, and tears, wearing the fingerprints of volcanoes and mountain bones. Salt is memory. It remembers everything. When early Earth formed, its oceans were fresh. Then rain fell through volcanic air, rich with carbon dioxide, dissolving minerals and carving continents into flavor. The rivers carried those minerals to the sea, and the sea kept them. Over millions of years, the balance stabilized 35 parts per thousand, enough to sting your lips, enough to keep you afloat. It's funny to think that the same chemical that seasons your fries also powers life's electricity. Inside every living cell, sodium and potassium swap places like dancers across a membrane, generating the impulses that make hearts beat and neurons spark. Without salt, thought itself would fall silent. You drift past shimmering salt crystals growing along a deep sea vent, delicate as frost on glass. Some of these crystals form brine pools, patches of water so salty and dense they sit at the bottom of the ocean like liquid mirrors. You peer down into one, it's surreal. Fish avoid them. Robots struggle to measure them. It's like staring into another ocean trapped inside this one. The edges blur, and for a second you can't tell where up ends and down begins. Scientists still debate the origin of these brine pools. Some believe they're remnants of ancient seas trapped under sediment. Others think they form from dissolving salt domes that bleed into the deep. Whatever the truth, they're both beautiful and deadly. Any creature that drifts in rarely comes back out. Yet even here, life finds a loophole. Microbes line the borders, feasting on sulfur and methane-defying chemistry itself. As you move on, the water grows colder, and your thoughts drift to how salt connects every part of life above, too. The salt trade once built empires and sparked wars. Entire cities rose because people needed to preserve food before refrigeration. Even language carries its trace. Salary comes from salarium, the Roman word for the salt allowance paid to soldiers. Without salt, there'd be no civilization, or at least no well-seasoned one. You imagine early humans stumbling across a salt lick, realizing its power to preserve meat, heal wounds, and add taste. The ocean was their distant, unreachable source, a sacred cauldron from which all salt ultimately came. They believed it carried divine energy. Maybe they were right. Back in the present, you notice how salt shapes everything here. It dictates what lives, and what doesn't determines buoyancy, density, even sound. It's why waves carry whispers so far, and why your body floats more easily here than in fresh water. The ocean holds you because salt bends physics in your favor. A school of silver anchovies flashes past, glinting like coins under a distant lamp. They shimmer because of the microscopic crystals in their skin. Tiny salt mirrors evolved from the same chemistry that fills the water around them. You smile at the thought the sea reflects itself endlessly. A small sea turtle glides by its shells streaked with faint mineral deposits. It's on a journey that will last decades, following invisible cues written in salt gradients and magnetic lines. No GPS, no map, just chemistry and instinct. Each journey begins and ends in the same oceanic code. You think of your own bloodstream also, saline 0.9% salt, a perfect echo of the sea. Evolution didn't forget its birthplace. It carried the ocean inside us. Every heartbeat is a wave. Every tear is a tide. We're walking bags of seawater pretending to be land creatures. Scientists still argue where exactly life began. Some say shallow coastal pools, others deep sea vents, but nearly all agree it started in salt water. It's poetic, isn't it? We spend our lives building walls and roofs, but the first cradle was brine. In the distance, faint lights flicker again, tracing the contour of the seabed. It's not life this time. It's minerals glowing from friction, releasing faint energy as currents scrape past rock. Even the earth hums with salt. You exhale and tiny bubbles rise, shimmering with rainbow halos, refractions caused by microscopic differences in salinity. You've never realized how many rainbows exist in the dark. The water feels thicker here, almost syrupy. Salt increases density, giving it substance. You drift slower, calmer, as if time itself has dissolved. You could stay here forever, suspended between chemistry and memory. Salt isn't just in the sea, it's in everything that endures. Mountains, bones, sweat, tears, the taste of home. The ocean simply keeps the largest supply. You close your eyes and lick your lips. The faint taste of salt remains. You're reminded that you've been tasting the universe this whole time. The water grows colder, then colder still, until it feels like you've drifted into another world entirely. The darkness now has weight, and even sound seems to freeze before it reaches your ears. You've entered the polar oceans, the hidden underworld beneath the ice caps, the frozen seas that cradle mysteries few humans have ever witnessed. Above you, the underside of the ice glows faintly green, illuminated by trapped daylight and the ghostly shimmer of the aurora. It's like floating under the roof of a crystal cathedral. Jagged icicles hang downward like chandeliers, each one slowly melting, reshaping, rebuilding. You brush against one, and it breaks into tiny silver flakes, each piece catching what little light remains. For a moment, everything is still, until a shadow slides past, smooth and silent. A seal perfectly adapted for this frozen labyrinth glides through narrow passages with a grace that defies physics. Its whiskers twitch as it listens for movement below the ice, hunting by vibration rather than sight. It exhales a small cloud of bubbles, then vanishes into blue haze. Below a garden of alien shapes appears brinicles, or ice stalactites of death. They form when supercooled salty water leaks from the ice above, freezing everything it touches as it sinks. It's like watching a time-lapse of frost devouring the sea floor. Starfish caught in their path freeze instantly, trapped in crystal tombs. Beautiful, terrifying, utterly hypnotic. And yet even here, where temperatures hover below freezing, life thrives. Antarctic krill swarm in dense clouds, feeding on microscopic algae that grow within the ice itself. These krill are the beating heart of the Southern Ocean, feeding whales, penguins, and seals. Without them, the food web would collapse. They're so abundant that scientists estimate their total biomass outweighs all humans combined. You can't help but think if anyone deserves to rule the planet, it's them. Nearby, a Weddell seal sings. Its voice ripples through the water, metallic, eerie, beautiful. It sounds like an alien flute echoing through glass tunnels. Scientists record these calls using underwater microphones, still arguing whether they're love songs or territory markers. Either way, the melody fills the cold with warmth. You swim upward toward the faint glow of the ice ceiling and notice strange lines carved into it. They're air channels carved by trapped oxygen. Tiny fish dart between them. Ice fish, nearly transparent, their blood clear because they lack hemoglobin. Instead, they survive by absorbing oxygen directly from the frigid water. The ocean rewrote the rules again. No red blood, no problem. In the Arctic, the mirror world repeats itself. Under the pack ice, narwhals drift in silence, their long spiral tusks glinting faintly. Scientists once thought the tusk was just a tooth. Now they believe it's a sensory organ packed with nerves that can detect changes in water temperature and pressure. The unicorns of the sea use them not for battle, but to listen to the ocean. You grin at that, trust nature to turn a weapon into a tuning fork. Farther below, near Greenland, you encounter a Greenland shark. Its skin is pale and rough, its movements slow, almost dreamlike. Some of these sharks are believed to live for more than 400 years. That means the one passing by you might have been alive when Shakespeare was still writing. It doesn't rush. It never has to. Time here moves differently, longer, slower, older. The water thickens with tiny crystals, sea ice flakes drifting downward like snow in reverse. They glitter around you, refracting faint green light. You reach out and one melts instantly on your palm as if it never existed. The ocean teaches you something again. Beauty is brief, but the memory lasts. You descend slightly and find a ridge of black rock, warm, surprisingly warm. A hydrothermal vent hidden beneath the ice. Steam escapes in slow ribbons, carrying minerals that feed entire colonies of life. Tube worms, clams, and ghostly white crabs thrive here without sunlight, nourished by bacteria that feed on chemical energy. Even in a frozen desert, there's fire beneath. Scientists still debate how these sealed ecosystems formed and persisted under so much ice. Some believe they're windows into Earth's ancient past, perhaps even analogs for life that could exist on icy moons like Europa. You float quietly, imagining that same faint light glowing under alien seas, wondering if something is staring back. A flash breaks your thought. An emperor penguin rockets past, rising from the depths like a feathered torpedo. It breaks the surface through a thin ice hole, scattering droplets that sparkle in the dim aurora glow. It's absurd and perfect, a bird that can't fly, yet swims better than anything with fins. The ice above groans, a sound so deep it vibrates through your ribs. The glacier is shifting, cracking, breathing. It feels alive. In a way, it is. The frozen cap expands and contracts, with the seasons pulsing like a heartbeat. Beneath it, rivers of meltwater carve hidden tunnels, releasing fresh water into an ocean, subtly changing its salinity, its currents, its moods. The ice isn't static, it's a sleeping giant rolling over. You rise closer to the glowing ceiling again. The light of the aurora filters through cracks, shimmering green and violet, like veins of liquid gemstone. You reach out and touch the underside of the ice, feeling its texture smooth, cold, alive, with micro bubbles and tiny forms. You press your palm there for a moment. The contact is electric. For all its silence, this world feels intimate, fragile. You realize that every snowflake that melts, every iceberg that calves, changes the story of the sea. The ice remembers centuries of storms, captures whispers of ancient air, holds fossils of climate itself. When it melts, it tells its story one last time before vanishing into the blue. You drift backward, letting the frozen light fade behind you. The water warms slightly as you move toward the open ocean again, but the cold lingers in your bones. Like a truth you can't unlearn, the ocean's heart is cold, but it beats for all of us. The cold fades as you drift away from the ice, and a new glow appears below. Not sunlight, not life, but something primal. The ocean floor begins to shimmer with heat. You've reached the hydrothermal vents, the fiery lungs of the deep earth. At first, it looks like smoke rising from underwater chimneys, black and ghostly. But those aren't smoke, they're minerals belched from the planet's crust. Each plume gushes superheated water that can reach 750 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to melt lead. Yet just inches away, the surrounding water is near freezing. You can almost feel the temperature war between fire and ice brushing past your skin. The ground beneath you trembles slightly. The vents hiss like sleeping dragons, their chimneys crusted with iron, sulfur, and copper. They're called black smokers, and they form when seawater seeps deep into cracks in the Earth's crust, gets heated by magma, and blasts back out carrying dissolved metals. When that superheated water meets the cold deep sea, the minerals precipitate, creating these towering spires. The seafloor is literally building itself as you watch. And what's most astonishing, it's alive. Around the vents, you see a forest of white tube worms, each as long as your arm, waving gently in the current. They have no mouths, no stomachs, no eyes. Instead, they host bacteria inside their bodies that convert hydrogen sulfide, the same gas that smells like rotten eggs, into food. It's the opposite of photosynthesis, chemosynthesis. No light, no chlorophyll, just chemistry and faith. You realize you're witnessing life in its purest form, independent of the sun, drawing energy directly from the earth itself. It's a reminder that our definition of habitable might be far too narrow. If life can thrive here under crushing pressure and poison gas, who's to say it couldn't thrive beneath the icy crust of Europa? Or Enceladus, a ghost crab scuttles past its pale shell, reflecting faint light from the vent. It seems unbothered by the chaos. Near it, colonies of Pompeii worms huddle together, their bodies half in boiling water, half in cold. They coat themselves in bacteria that act like thermal shields, allowing them to survive temperatures that would cook almost anything else. You can't decide whether that's bravery or stubbornness. But then again, maybe they're the same thing. Scientists still argue whether these vent ecosystems might resemble the cradle of life itself. Some believe the first cells on Earth began in such places, protected from radiation, nourished by minerals, and powered by chemical gradients. The deep sea, they say, might be the planet's first heartbeat. You drift closer to a vent and see shimmering distortions, heat waves bending the water like glass. Inside those mirages, tiny specks dart and flicker thermophiles microbes that not only survive extreme heat, but require it. Their enzymes are so stable that we use them today in biotechnology and PCR machines that read DNA. The ocean's oldest inventions are still teaching us how to look inward. The metallic scent of sulfur and iron fills your senses, not unpleasant, just raw elemental. You can almost feel the minerals brushing against your skin like warm dust. This is the underworld of Earth, where rock meets biology, and both agree to share a table. Nearby, an entire mountain rises slowly, built by centuries of mineral deposits. Its sides shimmer gold and silver under your light. It's surreal-like, wandering through a sunken cathedral sculpted by volcanoes. At its base, clusters of clams the size of dinner plates yawn open and shut, filtering nutrient-rich water. Above them, shrimp swarm in clouds, so thick they look like smoke. Their shells reflect flashes of red, strange, since no red light exists here. Its camouflage invisible in this darkness, yet beautiful to your eyes. You pause to take it in, all of it, the colors that shouldn't exist, the heat that shouldn't sustain life, the sheer defiance of it all. The vents hiss like whispers, as if the planet itself is exhaling stories from before. There were humans to listen. A small earthquake trembles beneath you, a reminder that this landscape is alive and shifting. New vents will rise, old ones will collapse. The ocean never stops sculpting itself. You imagine centuries from now, explorers finding this very spot transformed. Mountains move chimneys, rebuilt life reborn. The thought comforts you. Nothing here fears change. It welcomes it. You drift backward slowly, letting the glow fade into the distance. The warmth lingers on your skin, even as the water cools again. The vents shrink behind you, their plumes twisting like black ribbons against the void. You realize you've just witnessed Earth's secret dialogue with itself, rock to water, heat to life, silence to song. As you rise through the dark, your last glance down catches a faint shimmer like candlelight, flickering at the edge of forever. The deep is breathing, and you can almost hear it say, "We've been here since the beginning. We'll be here at the end." The water cools as you drift higher again, away from the molten breath of the vents. The deep world softens into rhythm currents, sighing plankton, drifting life, murmuring as if half asleep. Yet even here the ocean is changing. The balance you floated through, the calm, the chemistry, the eternal rhythm, is shifting beneath your fingertips. You've arrived in the era of the future ocean. At first glance, it looks the same: blue, vast, endless. But listen closer. The tone has changed. The ocean now carries the echo of us. Every wave rolling toward the shore holds traces of the lives we've built above it: metals, plastics, carbon, sound. The water remembers everything we throw into it. You drift through a faint haze of suspended particles, microplastics. They glitter under your light like confetti from a party that never ended. Some are fibers from clothing, some fragments from bottles, others from tires worn thin by asphalt. Scientists estimate there are more than 5 trillion pieces of plastic floating in the ocean today. They outnumber the stars in our galaxy, and that's just what we can measure. A jellyfish drifts by, graceful as ever, its tentacles tangled around a plastic bag that looks almost identical to it. You watch as it pulses helplessly, mistaking trash for food. The bag wraps tighter. You feel your throat tighten too. Beauty and tragedy inseparable, like reflections on rippling water. You rise slightly, and the water grows acidic, the invisible consequence of too much carbon dioxide dissolving into it. The ocean has always been Earth's great buffer, absorbing nearly 1/3 of our emissions, but at a cost. Its pH has dropped by 30% since the Industrial Revolution. Coral struggles to build skeletons, shellfish weaken. The sea is quietly losing its bones. Scientists still debate how far this process can go before feedback loops take over, before ecosystems collapse. Some hold on to optimism. Others whisper warnings. The truth, as always, lies somewhere in the waves between. And yet, even in decline, the ocean remains astonishingly resilient. You pass a reef restoration site where scientists have planted fragments of coral onto artificial structures. They grow in slow, luminous spirals, reclaiming what was lost. Schools of fish return. Life, given the smallest chance, comes rushing back. The sea forgives, but it never forgets. A pod of dolphins passes overhead, weaving through the water like silver ribbons. Their whistles bounce softly, almost playful. You sense curiosity, not fear. They've adapted to everything humanity has thrown at them: nets, noise, pollution, and still they play. Still they sing. It's humbling. You follow them toward shallower waters where sunlight glimmers faintly again. The beams filter down through layers of blue-green haze, illuminating kelp forests swaying below. These undersea jungles once stretched for miles along temperate coasts, absorbing carbon and sheltering entire ecosystems. Now in many places, they're thinning. Warmer water and sea urchin swarms have chewed them away. But in others, they're being restored, planted, protected, nurtured. You can almost feel the ocean sigh in gratitude. The dolphins vanish into the distance, replaced by silence and the slow hum of machines. Submersibles hover nearby, robotic explorers with blinking sensors mapping the deep. For centuries, humans looked to the stars for wonder. Now they finally look down. The ocean floor, once more mysterious than Mars, is being charted, measured, digitized. Perhaps for the first time, we're listening instead of conquering. You float past one of the machines and see your reflection in its smooth metal hull. Behind you, the deep stretches infinite. Ahead, light filters down like redemption. You realize that the future of the ocean isn't a story of doom or perfection. It's a question, one we're all still answering. A storm rumbles far above. You can feel the vibration through miles of water. Lightning flashes faintly through the surface, and for a heartbeat, The sea glows silver from top to bottom. It's a reminder this planet's power has never belonged to us. We are visitors, not rulers. Somewhere in the distance, a whale sings, a low, solitary note that vibrates through everything, through water and bone and thought. It sounds different this time, less lonely. Maybe it's calling to others. Maybe it's calling to you. You remember the first time you sank below the surface tonight, curious, uncertain searching. You've seen light fade life, adapt darkness bloom. You've wandered through death and rebirth, science and myth, despair and hope. And now at the edge of it all, the ocean feels closer than ever, like it's breathing through you. If you listen carefully, you can hear its message, don't forget us. But don't pity us either. Just remember, we are you. You close your eyes. The water cradles you one last time, rising and falling in slow rhythm. The ocean may change, but a tide always returns. You float upward now, rising through layers of warmth and light, leaving the deep mysteries behind. The ocean slowly exhales around you, releasing you from its gravity. It's like ascending through time itself, from the planet's ancient beginnings back toward the surface world you once thought you knew. The water brightens into turquoise, then emerald, then the familiar shimmering blue that humans have always called home. Shafts of sunlight break through the ceiling above, refracting into a million dancing ribbons. Each one feels like a thread tugging you gently upward. You're almost there, almost home. Schools of fish flash past you like starlings in flight, their scales scattering sunlight into rainbows. A manta ray glides beside you, enormous and silent wings moving in slow rhythm. It feels like a guardian of the threshold, watchful, patient, as if ensuring you've learned what you needed to before you leave. The sounds grow warmer, fuller. Waves crash faintly above. Distant gulls echo through the water. You haven't heard those sounds in hours, but they feel timeless, familiar, like the heartbeat of a memory. As you rise, you pass through layers that now feel like memories themselves. The blue twilight zone where lanternfish blinked in secret Morse code. The coral cities where tiny architects built cathedrals out of calcium and sunlight. The whispering currents, the whale songs, the cold trenches full of soft resilience. Each one glimmers around you, as if the ocean is replaying its favorite moments before letting you go. And you remember the plankton's quiet labor, the coral's fragile patience, the whale's echoing hymn, the moon's pull tugging at your blood. You realize you've been drifting through the planet's memory all along. Every current, every shimmer, every grain of salt is a page in Earth's autobiography written in water. A single bubble rises beside you, bright as glass. You follow it with your eyes as it wobbles toward the light. It reminds you of that thought from the trench: hope is a bubble that rises even in darkness. You smile softly. Maybe that's what you've been doing all along, rising. Your head breaks the surface and the world explodes in sound. The crash of waves, the hiss of foam, the sigh of wind. Above, the sky spreads wide and endless, painted gold and pink by the setting sun. It's startling, almost loud after so much quiet. You squint, half dazed, half grateful. The horizon stretches forever. You float on your back for a while, staring up at the clouds drifting lazily overhead. The air smells like salt and sunlight. Each breath feels new, as if the ocean is lending you its rhythm one last time. You feel both tiny and infinite, like a drop of water that finally remembered it's part of a tide. And as the sun dips lower, the surface begins to glow orange, then violet, then deep blue again. Stars flicker into view, reflected perfectly on the still water. You can't tell where sky ends and sea begins. You think maybe there was never a difference. You let your eyes close. The sound of the waves fades into your heartbeat. You realize the journey has circled back to where it began. Not an ending, but a return. The same way every tide leaves and comes home again. You wake before dawn, if waking is the right word. You never left the ocean. You just rose into its lighter dreams. The surface is still calm, whispering in slow ripples. The stars overhead are fading one by one as the horizon blushes with the first light of morning. You're not sinking anymore. You're floating, weightless, aware, at peace. Something has changed. You feel it in the water, a faint vibration, a slow stirring of warmth. The planet itself is turning toward the sun again. For a moment, you realize this right here is how life always begins, with light touching water, the same way it did 4 billion years ago. You roll gently onto your stomach, watching the light spread across the waves. It glints in thin golden threads, wrapping the sea in silk. Each crest of foam catches fire for an instant, then melts back into blue. The air smells fresh, rinsed clean by night. You inhale deeply, and it feels like breathing through the lungs of the world. Below you, the shapes of life return. A sea turtle glides just beneath the surface, unhurried. A pod of dolphins leaps in the distance, each splash catching a spark of sunrise. Farther out, the silver arch of a whale's back curves through the water before slipping beneath again. You feel a quiet kinship with all of them, not as visitor, but as echo. It's strange how something so vast can feel so personal. The sea doesn't speak in words, but you understand it anyway. It says, keep moving, keep breathing, keep being part of the tide. You close your eyes, letting that message settle deep in your chest. When you open them again, the light has grown stronger. The waves are tinted rose, lavender, and gold. The world is awake now, but it feels softer, as if the night's secrets have left a gentle residue behind. A single gull glides overhead, its cry sharp and distant. For a brief moment, it's the only sound in the universe. Then the wind picks up, a playful breeze that ruffles the water and touches your face like an old friend. You smile. You think back to everything you've seen, the blue twilight, the giants of the deep, the glowing plankton, the frozen cathedrals under ice. Each world still exists, layered beneath this morning calm, carrying on its silent rhythm. You didn't imagine it. You just listened long enough to hear it. Scientists might call this homeostasis, balance, equilibrium, the steady heartbeat of a living system. But you prefer the simpler word peace. The ocean isn't calm because it's still. It's calm because it's whole. Every current, every creature, every grain of salt knows exactly where it belongs. And maybe that's the lesson you were meant to find. The world above is noisy, tangled, desperate to define itself. Down here, things just are. You think of the coral that builds 1 millimeter a year, the whale that takes a decade to raise a calf, the current that circles the globe for 1,000 years before returning to where it began. Nothing hurries, nothing panics. Everything trusts time. The sun climbs higher, and its warmth begins to touch your face. You tilt your head toward it, eyes half closed, listening to the slow heartbeat of waves beneath you. The sea doesn't need to tell you good morning. It already has. You take one last look around the horizon, glowing gold, the sky unfurling blue, the water stretching infinite and kind. You whisper a thank you, not to anyone in particular, but to everything. Then slowly, you let yourself drift back toward shore. The sand rises to meet you, soft beneath your hands. The water clings for a moment, then releases you gently. The tide retreats with a sigh, promising to return. You lie there, on the wet sand, eyes closed, the ocean murmuring in your ears. The world feels new, fragile, and endless all at once. You're not the same person who dove beneath those waves. But maybe that was the point. Because in the end, every journey through the sea is also a journey back to yourself. Morning has fully claimed the horizon now. But instead of returning to shore, you decide to stay a while longer, drifting along the sunlit shallows where land and sea blur into one another. This is the edge world, a liminal space where the ocean meets the earth, and life thrives in the tension between. The light here feels different. It's not the shy glow of the deep or the eerie flicker of bioluminescence. It's warm, tangible, like liquid gold poured over the surface. You hover near a coral shelf just a few meters below, where the sun paints everything in moving lace patterns. Small fish flash in and out of the beams like confetti in slow motion. This place hums with intertidal life crabs, snails, starfish, anemones, all creatures that live between breaths, surviving both air and water day and night. A crab scuttles up a rock slick with algae, pauses and lifts one claw toward the air as if testing the weather. You chuckle softly. Somewhere in its tiny brain, it knows exactly when the tide will turn. You realize that this zone, so often overlooked by tourists and fishermen alike, is one of the hardest environments on Earth. Here, survival means mastering contradiction. Sunlight burns, salt dries waves, crash predators lurk. And yet the rocks are covered with color purples, oranges, and greens so vivid they seem painted on. Life doesn't just endure here, it revels in the chaos. A child's sandcastle, half dissolved by the waves, appears nearby. You drift over it, smiling. It's an accidental sculpture shaped by imagination, reshaped by the sea. The tiny moat still holds water, and within it, a few trapped amphipods dart nervously. You think about how fragile the boundary is between the worlds above and below, and step one tide, and everything rearranges. A sea hare glides over the sand, leaving faint trails behind, like cursive handwriting. Its movement is so slow, it's almost meditative. You wonder how many hours it takes to cross a single tide pool and whether it minds the wait. Probably not. Down here, time is measured in patience, not minutes. The current shifts, gently carrying a cloud of phytoplankton so dense it turns the water jade green. The color swirls around you, glowing faintly in the light. You know this bloom feeds everything nearby, the snails, the mussels, the fish, even the seabirds above, who dive through the surface like arrows. The cycle is immediate, tangible, perfect. In the shallows ahead, you spot something unexpected, seagrass meadows swaying softly in the rhythm of the waves. They look like underwater prairies stretching as far as you can see. A young sea turtle drifts between them, nibbling lazily at the blades. You know these meadows store enormous amounts of carbon, more acre for acre than any rainforest. They are silent climate guardians, oxygen factories disguised as weeds. But they're fragile. A single propeller, a cloud of silt, or chemical spill can devastate them for decades. You hover above the turtle and feel both admiration and sadness. The ocean keeps giving even as the world above keeps taking. still hope grows quietly here. You notice small patches of coral restoration, tiny fragments tied carefully to frames by divers, each one a promise of renewal. Baby corals are sprouting their polyps, stretching toward the light like seedlings after rain. It's humbling people trying, however imperfectly, to give back what they borrowed. A ripple of movement catches your eye. A small group of stingrays glides past, half buried in sand, leaving faint trails that twist and overlap like calligraphy. They move together, silent and graceful, in patterns that feel rehearsed but aren't. The sand swirls behind them, erasing their marks seconds after they pass. The ocean's lesson is clear. Nothing here lasts, but everything matters. Above, the surface shimmers like glass, and you can see your reflection for the first time since you began this journey. You look different, calmer, maybe wiser, or maybe just more still. The face looking back at you doesn't belong to an outsider anymore. The ocean has claimed a piece of you. A soft hum rises through the water, not mechanical this time, but musical, the distant chorus of humpback whales migrating north. Their song carries through the warm shallows, distorted but tender. You can't see them, but their voices fill the water like perfume. It feels like a farewell, gentle knowing. You look toward the open sea. Beyond the horizon lies everything you've seen: the trenches, the coral forests, the glowing depths. All still moving, all alive. The thought feels comforting. The ocean doesn't end. It just folds into itself endlessly, a living mirror of time. You float a little longer, letting the sunlight wrap around you. The waves rise and fall, and your body sways with them, perfectly synchronized. No resistance, no urgency, just belonging. When you finally swim toward the shore, you do so slowly, turning once to look back. The horizon glows gold. The sea looks endless again, patient and kind, as if waiting for your return, because it knows you will. By late afternoon, the water glows bronze under a heavy sun. The day is slowing down, the ocean stretching and yawning like some great living creature ready for its evening rest. You're floating just offshore, where the depth drops, suddenly shallow green, turning to sapphire blue. It's not the deep abyss, not the shore's edge, but the continental shelf of the ocean's grand balcony, where most marine life gathers to feed, to hide, and to live. Down below, the seabed is alive with quiet industry. Rays sift through the sand for crustaceans. A cuttlefish hovers nearby, changing color with every thought. First marbled gray, then smooth white, then flashing brown stripes when it notices you watching. Cuttlefish skin is a miracle of biology. Millions of pigment cells, muscles, and light reflectors working together like a living screen. You can't help but think this is the ocean's original display technology, long before OLEDs and pixels. You drift over a patch of sponges, not lifeless, but pumping water constantly through their porous bodies, filtering out plankton and bacteria. They've been here for 500 million years, quietly cleaning the sea, and will probably still be here long after us. You touch one gently, and it flexes almost imperceptibly. Alive, patient, unimpressed by human time. Farther off, the shadow of a reef shark glides across the sand. It moves without hurry, tail swaying in slow perfection. You feel no fear, only respect. It is not a villain here. It's balance embodied. Predators like this keep the reef alive, trimming excess, ensuring the circle continues. The media above the surface loves to paint sharks as monsters, but down here they're simply caretakers with sharper smiles. A sound ripples through the water, a rhythmic clack. Ahead, A parrotfish is gnawing on coral, grinding it into sand with its beak-like jaws. Every handful of white beach sand you've ever walked on, probably parrotfish poop. You grin. Even paradise has humble origins. You glide closer to the sea floor and see garden eels poking up like stalks of grass. Hundreds of them sway in unison, vanishing into their burrows whenever your shadow passes. Their colony moves with such perfect rhythm it looks choreographed. You imagine an orchestra of invisible strings tugging each one in time with the current. A little deeper, the water cools, and the light begins to shift toward gold. You notice kelp fronds anchored to the rocks below, rising tall and weightless. They stretch toward the surface like underwater trees. Between them, sea otters tumble lazily, cracking shells open with smooth stones. They work with casual genius pockets under their arms, stuffed with tools and snacks. It's both adorable and oddly human. You rest there for a while, suspended between these forests and the open blue. Tiny bubbles rise from the plants, catching the last rays of the sun. Oxygen. The kelp is exhaling life into the sea and into you. A school of barracudas streaks past sleek silver electric. They twist and flash in unison before disappearing back into the gloom. The silence that follows feels deliberate, reverent, like the ocean itself, pausing to breathe. You glance upward again. The surface ripples with golden light. For the first time, you can clearly see the boundary where air begins. The reflection shimmers like a liquid mirror. It's strange. After everything you've seen in the deep, this boundary feels like the most mysterious of all. Below it, life has evolved into infinite forms. Above it, another world waits, no less fragile, no less dependent on the balance beneath your feet. You realize the ocean isn't separate from the land. It's the same story told in different languages. Rain falls, rivers feed mountains, crumble, and all of it returns here to this calm expanse that turns chaos into continuity. A turtle swims past again, perhaps the same one you met before, perhaps not. It turns its head slightly, as if in recognition. You're not sure if it sees you or if you simply learn to see it differently. The sunlight softens, fading from gold to rose. The shelf beneath you hums with life settling in for the night. Some creatures retreat into rock crevices. Others rise toward the surface to hunt by moonlight. The daily migration begins again, just as it has for millions of years. You exhale slowly, bubbles rising toward that glowing border. The air above and the sea below shimmer together for a moment, indistinguishable. You think maybe that's what life really is, a series of surfaces to rise through one after another, each one leading to a new kind of light. You're not done journeying. You're just surfacing for now. For now, you are weightless, timeless adrift. The ocean holds you gently, whispering through the foam rest. The world will keep breathing, and it will. Long after we're gone, the tides will rise and fall. New creatures will hatch in the dark. Currents will turn. Coral will bloom again. The planet will keep telling its story, slowly, patiently, in the language of water. You inhale one last time, tasting salt and starlight. The sea hums softly beneath you, its voice fading into the edges of sleep. And now, as you drift at the surface, let everything inside you slow. Feel the ocean's rhythm, steady your breath, the long inhales of the tide, the gentle exhale of release. Each sound, each ripple, each sigh of wind brushing across your skin brings you closer to rest. The light above softens into silver. The air is cool against your face, the kind that smells faintly of rain and distance. The world for a moment is perfectly quiet. You can feel the ocean below, still moving, slow, patient, eternal. It hums with the memory of everything you've seen tonight, the glowing creatures, the singing whales, the drifting snow of life. It's all still happening, just deeper now. You don't have to hold it. You can let it drift away. Let your arms float beside you. Let your thoughts dissolve like salt in water. The weight you carried up from the deep is gone now. The sea has taken it. In its place, there is only stillness. You are floating between worlds, half air, half water, suspended between waking and sleep. The moon rises overhead, painting silver paths across the waves. You follow one with your eyes until it fades. Your breathing slows. Your body softens. The world narrows to sound and rhythm. The ocean cradles you like it always has, like it always will. And as your thoughts drift away on the tide, the last thing you hear is the whisper of the sea. You are home now. Sleep well.